Hello viewers and welcome to Africa and Beyond Television Network. We continue to take a look on what is happening in the nation Zimbabwe as well as the SADC region. ZANU-PF is scared of a possible military intervention by America, and this is something very important, something which we need to take a look upon right here so as to understand the fears of ZANU-PF people. And it's wise that we bring these matters to light so as to understand the real reason why there is a feud between Zambia and ZANU-PF. And tadzifambira nyaya dzacho, here is the information right there on the screen. Gachange, a ZANU-PF Murakashi, says Zambia's controversial foreign military presence a betrayal of SADC and AU principles. Zambia, a member of the Southern African Development Community SADC and AU, has allegedly allowed the establishment of a foreign military base on its soil, despite both organizations' strong opposition to such arrangements. So, let us start by this point right here. What you have to know is AU and SADC policy completely do not touch sovereign issues of any nation. Sovereign issues of any nation are not touched by SADC or AU principles and guidelines. There is nothing like that. We will come back onto that point. He says this development has sparked outrage and raised questions about Zambia's commitment to regional and continental unity. Zimbabwe is not in any position to talk about Zambia. I'm repeating, Zimbabwe is not in any position to talk about Zambia, about anything. The reason is simple. When you take a look on Zambia as a nation, Zambia is doing things in its own interests as a sovereign nation. The same way Zimbabwe is doing things in its own interests as a sovereign nation. Zimbabwe does have its own relations with Russia, its own relations with China. Zambia will decide who to have relations with. The reason why I say this does not fall into the jurisdiction of African Union and SADC is simple. There is no agreement by these countries to say we will only engage China and Russia. There is no agreement. If there was an agreement, we would have seen AU acting on such engagements. We would have seen SADC acting on such engagements. However, in this case, ZANU-PF people cannot talk or point these things to any other country in the whole continent of Africa, because there is an agreement between SADC that they are what they call principles and guidelines of holding democratic elections. And they have agreed that they call upon SCOMs to come to observe elections. After SCOMs comes, they issue reports, and those reports will then be presented to ZEC government and also to SADC for consideration. And there is what is called the SADC organ, which deals with politics and defense. And this is an organ which this SOM report is sent to. That organ will then determine if there is need for further action and to give a recommendation to the SADC. And when it gives a recommendation to SADC Troika, then a summit is called, or an extraordinary summit is called to determine any dispute regarding the elections in any country. Zimbabwe has refused to deal with the SEOM report. The SEOM report does not say what they've written in that report is final. They say there must be a conversation. This is how things work. The Zimbabwe Electoral Commission, the Zimbabwe government, ZANU-PF, CCC, all the people involved should sit down. Each and every one of them should present facts before a delegation from SADC. Once they've done that, we were supposed to see the SADC justice ministers coming to Zimbabwe. After they'd come to Zimbabwe, they were supposed to sit down with all stakeholders making investigations on the allegations raised by the SCOM report. After that has happened, we were supposed to see the justice ministers giving a recommendation, and a second delegation was going to be sent by SADC. This was going to be a delegation of elders, which was going to come then to find solutions, to say, okay, this has happened. What do we do? This delegation is coming now to say, okay, you have made the presentations. These are the findings of the SADC mission which came, and let us find the solutions to these problems. Evidence iripo zvonzi abata pamakaporonga fazi yaideyo mota dzakupindura zvonzi asa pamakaporonga maibhana marale opposition hamusi kuona kuti makaporonga according to the constitution makatadza apa ABCD, and you all agree kuti for sure patakatadza patakagona, and you find a solution. ZANU-PF government has refused to have that process happen, and they are the ones who are now telling Zambia who to be friends with. They are now telling Zambia who to be friends with because they are using false rumors that America wants to use Zambia as a launching pad to attack Mnangagwa. That is false. There is nothing like that which is going to happen. There is nothing like that which is going to happen. If America wanted to invade Zimbabwe, they could have invaded Zimbabwe long time ago. Mabira election kakanga ana America inaumbo kuinvade. They are simply rushing to give conclusions and attack other countries because they are afraid. You see, this is so simple, guys. This is something so simple. So they say, and in contrast, Zambia's decision to allow a foreign military presence has been seen as a betrayal of the principles of the AU and SADC stands for. As Zambia actions continue to draw criticism and condemnation, it is clear that the country's leadership must answer for its decision to allow a foreign military base on its soil. Imimi kwenyu, you are asking Zambia to answer to who when you refused to answer to SADC? You have refused to answer to SADC. Imimi. And you want Zambia to go to answer to who? Who exactly? Guys, let us be honest. You cannot have double standards. Kuti mimi mnoti atudzwe zvekuita neSADC. At the end of the day, moti Zambia ngai anze. What is Zambia going to answer? Because it is in their sovereign interests to have relations with whoever they want. Zambia can choose to leave SADC at any point in time. And amuna zvamunovaita. Okay, ngatiti vaisa base mu Zambia. Vaisa base ra America. What are you going to do? How many countries in Africa do you have these American bases? If Zambians decide to have that base, what are you going to do? What are you going to do? Emerson Mnangagwa has called for Russian presence in Zimbabwe. He has called for defense muno mu Zimbabwe. Zambia makambonzwa ichiti bufu ichitaura. No. SADC makambonzwa ichiti bufu ichitaura. No. You are looting minerals. Your minerals which are supposed to be benefiting the people of your countries. You are looting them. Stashing money outside. And you have never heard the SADC talking about those issues. They are quiet. And you want to tell other countries how to run their own countries, yet you are failing to run your own country. It's like you are in a failed marriage, but you want to give others advice about marriage. It doesn't work like that. So ZANU-PF people, honestly, this is just, they're scared. Kuti, maybe if we continue with our things, pamwe America ingazoda kupindira kana kudi. You shot people 1 August 2018, America hainaombouya. You shot people muna 2019 January, America hainaombouya. Makabiri election 2023, America hainaombouya. So why are you afraid? Why are you scared? Why are you scared? Zambia does have its own interests. Tarisai kukabodogado ko zviri kuitwa nema terrorists. They are terrorizing the people of Mozambique. And you want Zambia to be like Mozambique. You want Zambia to be like Coup, who are defenseless. You hate Zambia because Zambia vari kudevelopa nyika yavo, number one. Number two, vari kuita tunhu twavo kuti military yavo isimbe kavagone kuzvidefenda. Hakuna munhu asingadi kuzvidefenda. Imimi ndege dzese dzamuinadzo idzi ndimakadzigadzira here? Zvombo zvese zvamuinazvo ndimakazvigadzira here? And you want to tell Zambia what to do with their country, their own land. Team Zimbabwe. Tikwanirei vane ZANU-PF apo. Tikwanirei imi. Just imagine kuti vanhu vatobuda khetere Zambia this, Zambia that. But this is not something new. This is a clear indication of people who are panicking. People who are, unozati kana munhu ane ma-insecurities ake, anoenda apo akuona sekuti vanhu vese vakashata, vanhu vese vakadi. That is so wrong, ZANU-PF. People, ZANU-PF people, learn to appreciate kuti imimi you have failed to lead your own country. Accept that you have failed, vanezana. Accept kuti matadza. Just accept kuti matadza. Leave Zambia out of your problems. Focus on developing your own country. Let Zambia have its own relations. Have your own relations. Muitewo zvenyu. This is the honest advice ndokupai. This is the reason why ndati mukuru wenyu anotaura zve-dialogue kuti Russia ngaite dialogue ne-Ukraine, but mimi muri kutadza ita dialogue naChamisa. Who does that? You have destroyed the opposition in your country against the principles dzamakasaina imimi mega kusadiki nekupi kwese kusvika ku-UN uku. You are disbanding your own constitution, but you want to tell Zambia what to do.